Hi there, I'm Vicki. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have part one of the new Stampin' Up annual catalogue. Today is the day that the catalogue goes live, so I have a whole stack of projects that I'm going to show you that I've made with stamps that are in this catalogue, and I'm also going to just go through some of the things that I think are really interesting that are new in the catalogue, some new things that are there as well. And it's quite a long video, so I've broken it into two parts. So this is part one, and you'll find that part two is a little bit longer than this one, so you want to pace yourself and maybe get a cup of coffee. This is going to be an epic series of videos, so I'm just going to move all this away so we can get started on the catalogue itself. So here we are, the day the catalogue goes live, and all the new things are in here, so let's have a look inside. Okay, so there's a table of contents on the first page, and it's page one. And if you're looking for specific things, this is quite handy to have because we have everyday occasions, birthday, kids and babies, holidays, love, thanks and support, artistic expression, accessories and more. So that's a quick guide to, if you're looking for a specific stamp, that's where you'll find it, or a specific card, that's where you'll find it. So on the next page, which is page two, there is a feature here that I really like. Now, if you are ordering from my online store and you're new to this, you might be thinking, oh, what on earth do I order? I'm a new crafter, I haven't been doing this very long. Well, there's a whole section here on page two that gives you complete projects. It's one-click ordering. So if you use this order number, then you're going to get everything you need to make those projects. So for instance, here on these waterfront cards, you'll get the note cards and envelopes and the stamp set and everything else you need. The same with the scrapbooking page, you're going to get the album and the cards and everything else that goes inside it, and it's a one-click order. Now, I just think that's really good. I think it takes a lot of the confusion out of it. There's the beautiful day cards, which are a one-click order as well. The Daisy Delight cards, which give you all the things that you need to make these cards, the Big Wishes cards, and the This Little Piggy cards. So that's the one-click order. Order one project, get it done, and it's a great way to get started with paper crafting. Now, there are several types of stamps. There's the classic rubber and there's the photopolymer, and there are the wood mount stamps which come already mounted, or the classic rubber which comes unmounted, called clear mount, and the photopolymer which come unmounted as well. And for those, you'll need to have some acrylic blocks to do your stamping. So there's a whole colour refresh that's come in. I'm not going to go too much into that at the moment. I'll come back to that later. But I wanted to show you on page 5, there is an idea here for how you can start with a very simple card and then step it up a little or step it up a lot. So it's basically the same design, but it just has other elements added in. So I like the clean and simple look. That tends to be one of my favorites. If you wanted it to step up a little bit more, you could add the punch, or this one here, you can add a die cut, some ribbon, and away you go. These are the kits, and to my mind, they're the best value of anything in the catalogue because it's all inclusive. The all-inclusive kits, you get the ink spot, you get the acrylic block, you get the stamp set, which is this one here in this particular kit here. This is another kit that's on another page. I'll show you that in a moment. But this is really pretty. It's one that I plan on ordering. I think it's great value. And you can just buy the refill. Once you bought the kit, if you want to make more cards, you can just buy the refill, which it has everything in it except for the box and the block and the stamp and the ink, but it has all the pieces of the note cards in it as well. So that's on page 7. And here's some more kits. Now, these kits are just gorgeous. They're the sorts of projects where you can't go wrong. And I've used this Soft Sayings card kit in my classes, and also the Lots of Happy card kit. This was in last year's catalogue, both of these, and everybody loved them. They were really easy to put together, and people went home with really professional looking finished cards. Now, I'm excited to see that the planner kit has been continued into this catalogue. It's a different colourways to the catalogue before, the planner kit in the last catalogue. And from what I can see, about the only difference is it has rounded corners instead of, I'll just show you the old planner. instead of these metal corners. It's rounded, and everything else inside it looks to be pretty much the same as what was in this planner here. Now, I have used this planner every single day. I absolutely love it, and you can see I've put a lot of planner hacks and things inside of it. I've made photo album pages. I've made places to store the stamps just by using one of the pocket pages and adding some washi tape and cutting it down. I can actually store that tabs for everything stamp set in it, and I really love this. I've done lots of hacks, and I've done a whole series of this, and I'll link that in the description block up here, that little home up there, so you can see that playlist I've put of 25 planner hacks that I've done in the old planner, and they will all relate to this new planner just as easily. So this next kit here is not an all-inclusive kit, it's a project kit. So with this one, there are some things that you'll need to provide yourself. Now, if you love modern calligraphy, then this has some practice sheets, it has some drill sheets, and it has stamps that, this is the actual size, that are calligraphy stamps. So it'll make you look like a pro. Okay, now everyday occasions, let's have a look what's in here. The first suite is Tea Room. This is gorgeous. It's really a vintage feel, and the key element in this are these little copper tins. So you get 4 tins, and they're $26 for the 4, and you can give them as gifts. You can decorate them. There are some copper vinyl stickers that you can add to the tin to decorate them as well. There's ribbon, memories and more card packs, specialty paper, which looks really lush, cardstock, and framelit dies, which can also coordinate with the stamp set. And this comes in a bundle. So if you see this box with a round circle here, it means that you're going to save by buying the stamp set and the dies together. So the framelits and the stamp set, time for tea together. Here we have a Better Together stamp set. That's a returning favourite. We have, what else? Stitched All Around. This is a new one. And this has some beautiful dies that go with it as well. So it has some very delicate, detailed dies. I'm going to lift that up and show you. See how delicate they are. They cut out really finely, and that looks really pretty. Here we have Flourishing Phrases, a returning favourite. Accented Blooms. Now this is new, and it matches the tailored tag punch. So you can put these projects together with it, and it's a really sweet one. I like this idea of being able to colour around the corners here. That's really lovely. Botanical Bliss is a new suite, and it has, well, it's not a suite, it's actually a new stamp and framelit set. So it has this stamp set here, and it has some framelits to create these lovely bookmarks or tags, gift tags, however you'd like to make those. And the next one is Another Wonderful Year. This has a lot of different greetings for all through the year. So now we're on to page 22, some returning favourites. These are all stamps that were in the catalogue last year. And so is the Climbing Orchid. This one's lovely. I've seen some nice artworks put together by cutting those out with the die cuts. So this isn't in a bundle, so you need to buy the die cut separately or just fussy cut. Sitting Pretty is a new one. It has a little pug dog. It's quite cute. And it has the framelits that go with that as well. And then the next suite is Animal Expedition. And this is like a children's suite. You can make a diorama with it. You can make children's cards. It even has a little kangaroo, which is cute. And the die cuts that go with that, again, bundled. And there is designer series paper. There's some great leaf ribbon, which I think looks really different from anything I've ever seen before. And some wooden elements and the cardstock. Moving on to page 28, there's a returning favourite, Bike Ride. And one of the new stamps is the letterboard messages. Now, if you've watched my videos, you'll know that in the introduction in some of my videos, I actually do have a letterboard and some wild music. So I really like using letterboards. But I'm just going to bring that up so you can see the projects you can make. 7 billion smiles and yours is the sweetest. That's pretty cool, right? I like that saying. Okay, now the next thing I want to show you is Bella and Friends. And I do have some examples of cards I've made using Bella and Friends and Pretty Kitty. Now this is the first one I wanted to show you. This is one that I've coloured with my Copic markers, and I've used feathering technique for the sky and stippling technique for the grass. And I've had a lot of questions about this because people have asked, well, how did you make the background look as though there's two kittens on the one card? So if you look at this kitten here and this kitten here, I've combined them, but I have also masked off this section of the stamp here, right here. You can see where my finger is. And I've added this little piece, I've stamped that on the end so that the flowers continue into the background. So using that, masking it off with some sticky tape, inking it up, remember to take the tape off, and then you can get a double whammy out of your card. So you turn the background into something completely different from what it was. So that's one that I really have enjoyed making. And it's also made with shimmery white cardstock, which is fantastic for working with alcohol markers as well. Another one that I've made with the Pretty Kitty stamp set is I've made, and also used the Bella and Friends stamp set, is I've made some simple frames to go around the cards. So if you look at this first one, you can see I've added some shading with some cool greys from my Copic markers, and then inside I've added some more as well, and I've made a little bit of shading for the ground there. And then this one, I've just created a wacky kind of a frame around it. And again, added the inside, just keeping it black and white and very simple. And I've had a lot of use out of this stamp set. I really do love it. Another card set that I made out of it was what I call embedded frames. And these frames, if you can see, if I hold it up like that, these are made with the stitch squares. And what I've done is I have attached some of the punched out part here, which I made with a punch, and glued that onto the square before I ran it through the embossing machine and cut it. And what it's done, it has embedded that piece into the frame. Then I've popped up a little fussy cut dog on the top and added some liquid glue, that fine tip liquid glue, over some coloured, I used a coloured alcohol marker on there for his little collar. And I've done another similar one here with this little one. This time it was a grey day. This one you can see I've done some sponging in the background for the sky. This one I've made it a rainy day. So that was the little cat tangled up in the yarn. And then this is a more sunny version with the blue. So that's called embedded frames, and that's a technique that I came up with because I wanted something a little bit different, and I'm really happy with how those three turned out. So there's some examples of those for you. And a final one, and you can see I've used this stamp set a lot. I've combined both of them again. And in this one, I've used this balloon, masked it off. I've stamped one here, and then I've added the strings so that they cross over and tie to each animal's tail. And I just thought that was sweet. And the little saying, I'll be your up when you're feeling down, and it's been coloured with Copic markers. So next, page 31, this is a returning favourite, Vertical Greetings. And page 32, Special Celebrations, which has a lot of sentiments on it. And this little piggy, which is a returning favourite. And I've seen some really fun cards made with that one too. It's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, Lift Me Up is a returning favourite, and Hedge Hugs, very cute. We also have Treat Time, which is new. And these shapes here, where you see the darker shapes, the dark grey shapes, means there's something that coordinates with it. Usually it's a punch. In this case, they coordinate with the framelets that go with it. So the Treat Time stamp set has the petite treat framelit dies that go with it. Moving on to page 36, here's something that's really fun. There's a little bunny stamp set, Best Bunny, and that has a punch that goes with it, so you can punch out all the pieces. It's a little rabbit coming out of a magician's hat. It would be great for Easter or birthdays or just a lovely gift tag, so that's sweet. Another returning favourite is Let the Good Times Roll, which is the roller coaster card and framelits. And then there's One for All, which I think has some, this is lovely. It's really interesting, and this too, I think they'll go very, very well on just a simple card front, as they've shown you here, quick and easy. And I love this silhouette too, really nice. Okay, next suite, let's move on to Delightfully Detailed. And this has a stamp set, and it's coordinating with a punch. So instead of framelits, it's a Stampin' Up punch this time. And this is a corner punch, so it cuts out different corner shapes. And the stamp set is this one here. And it coordinates with the delightfully detailed laser cut specialty paper. So there are 8 sheets of 12 by 12. They come in vanilla or white, and they are laser cut, so you can cut out bits of the paper and add as backgrounds to your cards. So that's really a clever idea. There are note cards and envelopes, which are called delightfully detailed, so they have some printing on them, so that makes making cards really simple. Delightfully detailed memories and more card pack, which you can use with your scrapbooking albums, or you can use them to make cards. Faceted dots. This polka dot tulle ribbon looks really sweet as well, something very different. Now we're on to page 40, and we have this stamp set called Around the Corner, and I do like these corner edge stamps. I think they can make a card look really interesting. You can see this one's been created here. I'll just lift it up a bit so you can see that a bit better. You can see how it goes around the corner of the card. I think that's clever, really, really clever. And the next one on page 41 is Pop On By, which is a pop-up card. So this has a stamp set which has houses on it, and it has the pop-up house thin lip dies that go with it as well. So that's really cute, and it looks to be very dimensional, as though the house actually has not just a roof that pops up, but sides as well. So that looks really lovely. Okay, that's page 41. Now this lovely stamp set here, A Good Day, this is a continuing favourite, and I have made some examples of those cards as well. And I have a process video showing you how to make these cards. I made these as part of the sneak peek videos, and let's see how well I did if I matched them up really closely. I think I did. Now I used different designer series paper, but I tried to get the colours as close as I possibly could. I think I've done okay. What do you think? I think they're quite close to what was there. And the other thing I've done is I have created some envelopes using the envelope punch board, like this one. Or I've used the 3 by 3 inch envelopes and just lined them with some of the designer paper. And that's really simple to do. And I show you how to do all of this in a process video on these 4 cards. So I'll put a link to that up in the information box as well. And you can go and have a look at how to make those. This is a continuing favourite, You've Got Style. This is a new one, Bubbles and Bubbly. And this is cute. Pamper yourself. You deserve this. It's a bubble bath. Let's have a look. And she's in the bubble bath, having a bubble bath. That's lovely. Page 43. Page 44 is the Darling Label punch box, which is in a tin. So in that tin, you get a punch, you get the stamps that coordinate, you get a block, and you get 2 colours of ink spots, so you can get started on punches if you are somebody who's just getting into this sort of thing. And you can see the darling cards that you can make with this. If you're somebody who loves the ease of just having something punched out, and I think it's by far the quickest way to do any stamping is to use a punch rather than running it through the big shot, so I like these. But this next one is Varied Vases. And this has a punch that goes with it as well. So the punch, you can see the shapes in the punch are coloured in. So where they're coloured in slightly darker, that's something that coordinates with the punch. And you can make whatever flowers you want with that one. The next one is In Every Season, and lots of pretty little, tiny little florals. Very nice. Itty Bitty Greetings is a new one, so having really tiny greetings is good as well, to have a stamp set like that. The next one on page 47 is Pop of Petals, which also comes with a punch. So that's the floral punch and stamp bundle. Page 48, there's a lovely typewriter and some typing, and that's a new stamp set. On page 49, there's one called Postcard Pals. Now this is ideal for colouring, so if you have the watercolour pencils, these would go really well. Or if you have alcohol markers or Copic markers or Prismacolor pencils or something like that, these would be great for colouring and great for kids' cards. This is the Tabs for Everything set, which I showed you was in my planner that I have stored inside there in one of the pocket pages that I've changed to accommodate that. This is another returning favourite, which is Pocket Full of Sunshine. And of course, Jar of Love. That's really lovely. And I've seen a lot of projects made with that. They're just gorgeous. You can't go wrong with this one. It has coordinating framelits, which you can buy separately. Now the next suite is Best Root, and this is great for young boys. I just see this as a boys set of papers. The stamps are great. It's great for travelling if you've done some travelling and you want to do some documenting in your scrapbook with this as well. Fantastic designer series paper. There's a little bit of washi tape. There's not much washi tape in this catalogue. I noticed there's this and then there's the black. So a lot of the washi tapes have left, and perhaps we've gone through the washi tape phase. I know everybody seems to have lots of washi tape, but this is designed to coordinate with it. So that's really cool. It also coordinates with the layering squares framelits and with the 3/4 inch circle punch for these shapes up here. Next, Friendly Expressions. Again, some beautiful modern calligraphy, and if you're a fan of that, that's a really nice kind of script. It's one of my favourites. So the next one is the Follow Your Dreams stamp set and the Chase Your Dreams framelit dies, and you can make some beautiful dream catcher cards with those. And I have a dream catcher that I made using a doily and the feathering stamp set, Feather Together. And I'm going to actually bring that out and show that to you in another video, because I've had a lot of requests to bring that out and show people as well. This is One Wild Ride, which is a returning favourite. Here we have another one, At Home With You, which comes with thinlits as well, and that's a returning favourite. So is Bubble Over, and so is Thoughtful Banners. And I have a project that I've made using this stamp set here. And also the punches that coordinate. You can see this is the punches that coordinate with it. This is a classic label punch and a duet banner punch. So there's the duet banner punch. If I put it that way, you can see it probably really well. The classic label. Sorry about the glare. It just will be a bit glary because of the lighting. And this is the stamp set that goes with it. And the thing I created with it, I cased it from the last catalogue. It's this little one here. I've just put some gold foil and envelope lining a 3x3 envelope, some gold foil layered underneath this stamped piece here, which I've used to make a background, and then I have embossed it in gold. Have a fabulous, happy, amazing birthday. I love this set because there's so many things you can make with it, and you can create lots of different sayings and greetings with it. For instance, in this card here, I love you, you are fabulous, came from this stamp set here. So you can see you can create lots of different designs and sayings with it. Next is Enjoy Life, and this has some really cool sayings on it, like wake up, kick butt, repeat. And I wanted to show you also what these stamp sets look like. The new stamp sets seem to have been rebranded. So instead of having the pale green, they now look like this with the black stripe on top. Yep. The images on the front are at 80%. You can see they're smaller than what's in the book. So this is the size. The size is what you see here. And sometimes they even shrink the images down here as well, and we'll let you know. So just make sure you know if it's a little bit bigger than you thought it might be. So that's pretty good. I like that. So that's the sizes of those. I think I'm really going to enjoy doing some silhouette stamping and using my Stays On ink for these, and then creating some amazing backgrounds with my watercolour aqua brush. I think that'll be fun. Okay, now the next one is Heartland. This is a returning favourite. Another one which is great for colouring, and a new one is Peaceful Place. So this has a chipmunk and a nice river scene here, which is lovely. And there's some examples of things you can make with these cards here. Another returning favourite is Coffee Cafe, and this does have some framelits that can be bought separately. Same with the Apron of Love, you can buy the framelits separately. And this is Hanging Garden, which is lovely with the hanging plants coming down. Hold On to Hope, which is lovely. And the Barn Door. Now the Barn Door is a returning favourite, and it has all the makings so you can slide it across like an actual barn door, which is kind of cute. This is a returning favourite, Banners for You, and that has framelits that go with those shapes here. Sitting there, or sitting here, sorry, on page 65 is a returning favourite. Now we're coming to the next week, which is Broadway bound, and this has a marquee sign which you can create with the framelits that go with it. So this is a bundle, and this is the stamp set with the framelits that cut out all these shapes. And you've got the specialty designer paper, which has some foiling in it by the look of that, and these tiny little candle embellishments and metallic pearls in gold. Black ribbon as well. I like this idea of Dude. I think that's great because I have these large letter framelits from last time. But I also love the retro look of this one. This is called Free Cake, very retro birthday. Like that a lot. And then we've got the perennial birthday, which makes some really pretty cards, as you can see with this one. And the backgrounds. Now, backgrounds can be used for a lot of different things, and I'm sure I'm going to see a lot of people do different sorts of cards using all these types of backgrounds in their cards. 25 again is a new stamp set. This is really cute because it makes this little box of matches with candles sticking out, or matches sticking out, whichever one you prefer. That's really interesting and really fun. And this is Happy Birthday Gorgeous, which is a returning one, which coordinates with that punch that I showed you. Right there, the classic label punch, and it also coordinates with the Happy Birthday Thinlits die. Okay, next we have page 73, and this has some framelits that go with it as well. That's a returning favourite. We have Balloon Celebration, which coordinates with the Balloon Bouquet Punch, which is this one here. So I'll just show you the back. It's easier to see on the back. It's not quite as glary. And I have created some really pretty cards with this, which were just cased from the last catalogue. And this is one of the ones, I've made quite a few of these for selling in the gallery. And here's another one, which was cased. And all I did with this one to create that edging around it was just using one of the templates that has a paper piercing template, and it gives it a faux stitched edge. But that's a lovely saying, come let us sit together and drink coffee and eat cake. And you can create whatever, whether it's hot chocolate, champagne, congratulations, happy birthday, you can create whatever you want from that. So that's a lovely one, and I really enjoy that stamp set and punch combination, use them quite a lot. Okay, next there's a new one, Big Wishes. I think this is great. It's one of those stamps that it's really easy to get a card put together. And this is an example where I started right at the beginning and said it's a You Can Make It kit, which is a one-click order. So you put this order number in and it'll give you the stamp set, the Memories and More cards and envelopes, the Memories and More card pack, and the basic grey classic stamp pad. So all you would really need to make this was a bit of adhesive, and the Big Wishes stamp set is actually wood mount, so you don't even need a block for it. It already comes with the wood blocks. So that's a really good kit that you can make just using the one-click order on that number here. Next is Icing on the Cake, which is a returning favourite, and Picture Perfect Birthday. Here we have a new one, Blow Out the Candles, which is really sweet. And you can make a cake that has different coloured icing top and bottom on it and different sorts of cakes, and it coordinates with the candles and confetti framelits and comes in a bundle. It's called Blow Out the Candles. Next is Birthday Wishes for You, which is really a nice big stamp, which is lovely. Cake Soiree, which is a returning one as well, and Birthday Posies is new. So that's really sweet. It has a posy which looks like it's in a cone, which is cute. Like 2 scoops of flowers in an ice cream cone. Okay, now next we are coming across to the Twinkle Twinkle Sweet. And the Twinkle Twinkle Sweet's beautiful for babies, very soft, very sweet. But it also has some Galaxy designer paper in it, which I think is great because galaxies are really trending right now. And you can see there's some Galaxy constellation stamps in the background there. And it comes with a matching punch. So this is what the punch looks like. So the Twinkle Builder punch gives you the moon and some stars, and you can also use the stars to make confetti in this shaker card. So that's a really sweet. And it has twinkle adhesive back sequins. So if you're like me and you would much prefer self-adhesive sequins, then you'll enjoy that one. Another returning one is Baby Bear, and it has the 3-step bear that you can create on here. And then page 85 is the A Little Wild and the Fastened with Love stamp set. Now the A Little Wild, I have a couple of examples to show you there. So I'm going to put this up in the information box up here. This will be the floating tulle sparkly window cards that I made. I cased these from Jennifer Maguire. She made something similar, but her die cuts didn't have a stamped back piece on them, so hers were just plain white on the back. The fact that these come together with a back and a front gave me the idea that I would do exactly the same, but I would use something that has the back already stamped on it. The same with the little elephant. You can see there's his backside. Cute. And I did also make one with the honey bear, but I've gifted that to somebody already, but the same principle. And I made the little honey bear. Now, if you want to see how to make these, I have a process video right here, which you can click on, which will show you the sparkly tulle window cards, how you can float your images on cards like that. And if you didn't have tulle, you could also do the same process with acetate or vellum. I think acetate would be really cool on these as well. But I just think the floaty tulle is so great for babies. Okay, and the Fastened with Love is a new one, which is very cute. It has little things that you can put on bibs, and you can make a little tag, and you can make a safety pin, all sorts of things which are really darling. You can put the safety pin with the little animal shape on the top, or you can put the animals' heads on the bib. Gorgeous. Now that's the end of this part 1. I'm going to come in with part 2 now, and I'm going to link that right at the end of the video. You'll see part 2. All you need to do is click on that, and that link will take you directly to the rest of this catalogue walkthrough.